お待たせいたしました。ただいまよりワークスタイルを変革する AWS のエンタープライズアプリケーション戦略を開演いたします。講師は Amazon Web Services ヘッドオブ Amazon エンタープライズアプリケーションズジーン・ファレルです。それではお願いいたします。
Great. Good afternoon, everybody. How are we doing? Today I want to talk about AWS Enterprise Applications, but before I dive into the specific applications, I wanted to give you a little bit of context for the subject by giving you a little bit of an overview of AWS and where we've been and how the applications that we're building fit into the overall AWS portfolio. So if you look at the history of Amazon Web Services, since we started in 2006, we've introduced a ton of new services. Every year we innovate and we launch new services and new features. And in fact, to date we've launched over 1,407 new features and services. And the pace of innovation is actually accelerating. If you look at, in 2011, we launched over 82 features. 2012, that jumped to 159. In 2013, it was 280. And then last year, it was 516. This year alone, we've already launched over 234 new features or services. So we expect that pace of innovation to continue. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, how's the business progressing? Recently, we crossed a very significant milestone, and that is we crossed over 1 million active customers using the AWS platform. And that 1 million customers is made up of a broad range of customers, from startups like Airbnb and Dropbox to large enterprise customers like J&J and Intuit and Pfizer and the Bank of Australia. We also have a large public sector business with over 900 government agencies, including customers like the Navy, NASA, and JPL. So it's a big, diverse, growing customer base. And when you look at the platform that we've built, it really starts with the foundation. We have 11 different regions and 28 availability zones around the world. So this gives customers the flexibility to deploy the applications, their applications, and build their business where they want, and architect in such a way that they can be very fault tolerant. On that foundation, we've built a set of core services that start with compute with EC2, storage. We have a variety of storage for block storage, our content distribution network, our databases, both relational and non-relational, and networking solutions. Then to assist customers in managing and securing these resources, we provide a wide range of administration and security capabilities. As we go higher up the stack, you'll see our platform services like analytics, app services, developer tools, and mobile services, as you heard Marco talk about earlier today in the keynote. The next layer is enterprise applications, and this is what I'm going to talk to you about today, but it's significantly up the stack from where we started with core infrastructure. In this space today, we have virtual desktops, file sharing and collaboration, and business email. I'm going to dive deeper into each of those in just a moment. All of the capabilities I've talked about are supported by our people services, which help educate and support our customers as they build their business on AWS. So let me talk a little bit more about enterprise applications now. And many of you may be asking yourself, why did AWS decide to get into the enterprise applications business? It's a long way from core infrastructure to providing virtual desktops or business email. And it's a really easy answer for us. It's because that's what customers asked us to do. Customers told us that the solutions that are available today, they were frustrated by them, that just the time and effort that they required to deploy and manage, the costs involved. And in many cases, the applications that are out there today just aren't flexible enough to meet the needs of the changing workforce. And you heard a lot in the keynote this morning about mobility and how important providing great user experiences across a broad array of devices is. And the cloud is really a great way to enable that use case. And in fact, when we set out to build these applications, we really looked at a wide range of customer use cases. Everything from bring your own device, supporting remote offices, how do you support contractors and consultants, outside vendors. In our public sector and education channels, there's a lot of demand for student support or developers. Offshoring is another phenomenon where you have diverse development teams all over the world, and customers need solutions that can scale and support globally distributed workforce. Then you have the challenge when you try and integrate acquisitions into your company, totally different IT systems. And what we hear frequently from customers is they'd love to move everything to a SaaS environment, software as a service. And then finally, we've heard from customers they want support for graphic-intensive workloads. So to support these use cases, we built a series of applications. And to date, we've launched 3 core applications, application services, I should say, and a couple of supporting services that I'd like to talk about. The first one we launched was Amazon Workspaces. Amazon Workspaces is a secure virtual desktop solution in the cloud. And Amazon Workspaces was really designed to deliver on the virtual desktop promise, because we heard from customers that the solutions out there today were not able to do that. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. Amazon WorkDocs is the second solution that we launched. This is file sharing and collaboration to allow your end users to securely store and share their documents and data in the cloud. Amazon Workmail is one of our newest services. In fact, it's just announced in January of this year, and it's currently in preview. And Amazon Workmail is a fully Outlook-compatible, highly secure business email solution. And we'll, again, dive into that a little bit deeper. The 2 supporting services I want to talk about were recently announced at our San Francisco Summit. Those are the Workspaces Application Manager, which is a tool to allow customers to package, manage, and deploy desktop applications to their end users through Amazon Workspaces. And then a companion service, which is the AWS Marketplace for desktop applications. This new category of the AWS Marketplace allows customers to deploy applications to their end users where they rent them by the month. So we have over 100 desktop applications available that they can subscribe to for monthly subscription. And this is, again, an area we think we're really innovating for customers. So let me spend a little bit of time talking about Workspaces. Workspaces was originally announced at reInvent in 2013. We opened a limited preview that we started onboarding in January. And consistent with most AWS services, we tend to launch what we call a minimum viable product. So that tends to be feature light with the base features that we know customers are going to want. And we do that so we can get customer feedback, and then we innovate or iterate rapidly on the product. So you can see from the launch publicly in March of 2014, a list of the features we've added. Everything from supporting advanced Active Directory scenarios, expanding the number of regions that Workspaces is available, providing multi-factor authentication, custom images, local printing support, and some of the features I just talked about, like application manager in the marketplace. As we launch those features, what we find is we start to meet more and more customer use cases, and so we grow a fairly large customer base. Today, Workspaces has over 7,000 customers. Large customers like the Coca-Cola Company, Netflix, News UK, global customers, also customers here in Japan like Kombi and Yamaha, and ServerWorks and Tokai. So pretty broad customer base and a broad set of use cases. And what we hear from customers is that Workspaces really solved a core pain point that they had. First, there was the physical desktop. And what customers said about the physical desktop was, one, they can be fairly expensive. They can be hard to manage. And because they're physically distributed, they're not particularly secure. A lot of data rests on the individual devices. For some users, mobile users, they're carrying data around with them on a laptop. It can be left in an airplane, or it can be stolen, so very insecure. The solution was supposed to be virtual desktops, right? When virtual desktops first came out, I think for the last 4 years, every year was the year of the virtual desktop, because analysts believe that the security and performance and manageability benefits of a virtual desktop would cause major corporations and all customers to want to shift from physical desktops to virtual desktops. That didn't happen as quickly as we thought, primarily for two reasons. One, the performance, the user experience was not particularly great with on-premise virtual desktops. And actually managing virtual desktops and setting them up turned to be much more expensive and more complicated than you thought. So if you think about it, today, if you wanted to deploy virtual desktops on-premise, the first thing you had to do was you had to go out and buy expensive hardware and set it up in your data center. Then you had to go buy expensive software. Then you had to go hire some expert administrators to come set up and provision your environment. And from the time you made the decision, it could be months and sometimes even years of planning and deployment before your first user is up and running. And then once you had it deployed, it didn't scale particularly well. So as you attracted more users to the system, the performance actually got worse, and it was difficult to scale with your organization. Moving the virtual desktop to the cloud solved a lot of those pain points. With Amazon Workspaces, there's no hardware to buy. You can provision by user, by month, so it's very flexible. We can scale up and down from 1 to thousands of users. We provide access from multiple devices, so we support desktops, thin clients, and tablets. We integrate with the existing directory service, your existing Active Directory, so users get to use the same secure credentials that they use on-premise to be able to log into their workspace. And we have no long-term commitments, so you don't have to commit to more than a month at a time, and you only pay for what you use. And the best part is it's about half the cost of traditional on-premise VDI. So we think that Amazon Workspaces actually delivers on the promise of virtual desktops. It's scalable, it's affordable, it provides a great user experience. You can provision what you need when you need it. And customers are voting for this solution by adopting it. And in fact, For those of you that may have heard or been at our reInvent conference, 2015 is the year of the workspace for Johnson & Johnson. They announced in Las Vegas that they'll deploy 25,000 workspaces this year across their global system, starting with contractors and then adding employees. And this deployment has already started, so they're in process now. So one of the things we heard from customers very early on with workspaces was that they wanted a way to manage their applications and deploy applications to users. Tends to be pretty challenging in a distributed desktop environment. And so we actually built two new features to help them do that. First is the AWS Marketplace for desktop applications. This has a marketplace of over 100 different applications, the most popular apps, and you can provision it directly from the marketplace to your workspace, and you pay by the month. So for an administrator, you can select the apps that you want to provision to your users and then deploy them directly out to your users to their workspace, seamlessly directly from the Workspace's console. As I mentioned, today we have over 100 applications. I think we're actually at about 110 across 11 different categories. These are the different categories of applications that we have available in the marketplace today. So AP and billing, productivity and collaboration, security, storage and archiving, utilities, illustration and design, CAD and CAM applications, media encoding, project management, a pretty broad array of titles. And to help with the deployment of those apps, we launched the Workspace's Application Manager. And one of the great features of the Workspace's Application Manager is not only can you deploy the applications from the marketplace itself, it also lets customers package and manage their own applications and curate their own catalog of applications that they may have developed in-house. So many of the customers we talk to have anywhere from hundreds to thousands of line of business applications that they've developed in-house that they want to be able to manage and deploy to their users. The Workspace's Application Manager allows them to package those apps. They run in a container, so securely in a container, and perform as if they're natively installed on the device. But because they're containerized, it makes lifecycle management much easier. So patching is easier, deployment is easier and faster, and you can configure and deploy applications by user or AD group. The Workspace's Application Manager also allows customers to automatically manage backups and upgrades of applications. So pretty exciting functionality. These were announced in San Francisco. They're available in 2 regions today in the US, and they'll be coming soon to Tokyo, we believe a little bit later this year. Now, earlier today, you may have heard the announcement that Amazon Workdocs is now available in the Tokyo region. That is exciting. Has anybody tried it yet? A few. This is one we're very excited about. It's been available in beta in an English form for several months, but it's now available in Japanese and available in Tokyo. So I look forward to hearing your feedback once you have an opportunity to try it. So let me talk a little bit more about what Workdocs is. Workdocs was really designed to give customers a way to securely manage their documents, and then we layered on collaboration features that allow you to share documents and actually provide comments and collaborate across teams. So some of the key features, Amazon Workdocs allows users to access their docs from anywhere at any time from the device of their choice. We do that through a security model that leverages your existing Active Directory users, so your users use the same credentials they use to log into their on-premise environment today. And it also supports multi-factor authentication as well from any device. It's an easy way for your users to share documents with their colleagues. If you saw the video demo this morning, once you have a document uploaded, you can simply type in the username or email of the person you want to share it with, as long as they're within your company's directory, and you can easily share the document, and then they can provide comments back. Once the document's shared, once it's shared with the group, they can view the document, and then they can provide comments on the document, and then send those comments back to the entire group that it's been shared with. We also then allow users to download the document and incorporate any comments or edits in the doc. It also has a lot of the nice control and permissions features that enterprise customers have come to expect. So you can have shared folders, you have permissions on those folders, so you have access controls, and a way to track and log how your users are using those documents. So it's a very simple and easy to use end user experience. From a business value perspective, Amazon WorkDocs has a lot of the security features that our customers demand. So we provide encryption at rest and in transit. They have regional control over where you place your data, so you can choose where you want to have your data stored. It's got document redundancy, so all of your documents are backed up to S3, which is incredibly reliable and secure, so we never lose your data. And we allow you to have external sharing control, so you can share within your organization, and then we have features to allow you to share outside of your organization as well. We have document and folder access controls, which are super important to allow the administrator to provide the right controls around document access and permissions. And then it's fully auditable, so you can track who's had access to documents when, which is super important for regulated and high compliance workloads. Next, I'd like to talk about Amazon Workmail. So this is one of our newest services, and this is designed to allow you to manage mail and calendar. And one of the things we heard from customers is that today, most customers manage their email on-premise using Microsoft Exchange or some other email service. And most customers we talk to use Outlook for their end users to manage their mail. And Exchange can be pretty challenging to manage on-premise. It's expensive, it can be very complicated, it doesn't scale particularly well. As their enterprise expands around the world, it's not particularly easy to set up multiple Exchange environments around the world and have them all talk to each other. And so customers were looking for a way to easily scale their mail service and move it into the cloud to eliminate some of the challenges of running Exchange. The flip side is they didn't want their users to have to learn a completely new email client or have to adapt to a different way to do mail. They wanted to be able to continue to use the familiar tools that they use today in Microsoft Outlook. And so with Workmail, what we've built is a very secure business email solution that is a multi-tenant cloud email solution that is natively compatible with Microsoft Outlook. So you get full fidelity in Outlook, full fidelity as far as being able to schedule meetings, see free busy across your email environment. But we offer that in a highly secure, scalable solution that offers pay-as-you-go pricing. So you only pay for the mailboxes you need, and you can add one to thousands of users. A couple of the nice differentiators of Amazon Workmail are that we allow encryption using keys that the customer manages through integration with our KMS service, our key management service. We also allow you to select the region of the world where you want your data to be stored, which is super important for data sovereignty reasons. It also integrates seamlessly with Amazon WorkDocs, so you can use WorkDocs to store attachments and actually to send attachments. And it's available through multiple devices. So I talked about Outlook compatibility for the desktop. It also uses ActiveSync to integrate with existing mail clients on tablets and on mobile devices. And finally, we also offer a web app to access your calendar and your email through the browser. And again, Workmail, like all of our work enterprise applications, fully integrates with your on-premise Active Directory, so it's secure. Your users get to use the same familiar credentials that they use today, and administrators get all the control that naturally comes with integration with their directory and group policy. So Workmail was announced in preview in January. It will be launched in general availability later this summer, and then we'll start expanding. Today it's in preview in Dublin and Virginia, and once we launch it publicly, we'll start expanding regions, and we should have a date for Tokyo later this year. So those are the three work applications that we have today. We still view this very much as day one. Our goal here is to provide end user applications to meet our customers' needs and to help them move their end user computing environment into the cloud in a scalable, secure manner that hopefully provides a great end user experience to their employees and provides a great secure administrative and a low-cost experience to our customers. So we're excited about where this is going, and we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。